Talking today about mood disorders. Okay, so what are mood disorders? Mood disorders are disturbances in emotion ranging from extreme depression to extreme mania. So you can think of depression and mania as two ends of a continuum of mood. So we'll talk about two specific mood disorders. We'll talk about major depression or unipolar depression. So it's called unipolar because this disorder falls only at one end of the mood continuum, the depressive end. And then we'll talk about bipolar disorder, called bipolar disorder because it moves back and forth between both ends of the mood continuum, from depression to mania and back to depression. Okay, so depression, major depression. So when we talk about depression, we say someone's depressed. This is what we're talking about. Excessive sadness, this kind of behavioral aspects where you're not interested in the things that you used to be interested in. So let's say that, maybe before you had a real interest in cooking and now you just don't care. You used to hang out with your friends all the time and now that doesn't sound interesting or exciting to you. Cognitive habits that go along with depression, thoughts of hopelessness. So individuals who experience depression, basically, they have this worldview that things are never going to change, nothing is ever going to get better, I'm a complete failure, and there is nothing that is good in my life, okay? So this loss of hopelessness for the future. Additionally, there are some physical side effects here. Body functioning. Individuals often experience fatigue where they're very lethargic. They don't really want to do anything. They might want to sleep all of the time. And then sometimes individuals experience a loss of appetite where they don't want to eat. It's just not interesting to them anymore. Other individuals might experience extreme appetite where they just eat all of the time. And then this depressive episode needs to last for at least 2 weeks, okay? So again, it's normal for you to feel sad sometimes. Maybe you've experienced some of these things for, maybe 1 or 2 days at a time. But if it's real clinical unipolar major depression, these symptoms will go on for an extended period of time. Okay, so bipolar disorder then. Bipolar disorder involves a moving back and forth between the depressive end of the mood spectrum and the manic end of the mood spectrum. So this used to be called manic depressive disorder. Okay, so we already know what depression involves, right? But we haven't talked about mania. So mania is the opposite end. So if you're experiencing mania, this is excessive euphoria. So individuals who are in a manic episode basically feel like they're on top of the world. They have, a million great ideas. They have what's called a flight of ideas. They might talk very, very quickly because they have all of these great ideas that they need to get out. They have this sense of impulsivity where they might engage in very reckless behavior that they wouldn't normally engage in. So this can be things like abusing substances. This can be reckless sexual behavior, going on shopping sprees. Excessive libido, so this goes along with the reckless sexual behavior. Social intrusiveness, where these individuals are basically forcing themselves on other people, and they get very irritable also, if they have some kind of grandiose, amazing plan and someone pokes holes in their plan or kind of stands in the way of them getting to their end goal. And then also this diminished need for sleep. So these individuals might sleep for maybe 1 hour in a 24-hour period because, they have so much stuff going on, they don't have time to sleep, right? And so basically what happens, individuals who have bipolar disorder will experience depression, and then they will experience these manic phases as well. And so for the manic phases, sometimes this will go on for a couple of weeks. The depressive phases will go on likely longer, maybe a month or two, and then it'll morph into the manic phase and then move back into the depressive phase. Bipolar disorder is very serious. in this sense that many individuals who experience bipolar disorder will attempt suicide, and many will actually complete suicide. So it has a very high mortality rate for a psychiatric illness. Okay, so apply this stuff now. So we have Serena here, who feels absolutely on top of the world. She feels ecstatic for no apparent reason, and everything around her seems to be wonderful and beautiful. However, after a few weeks of feeling great, Serena becomes horribly upset, begins sleeping 12 hours a day, and constantly crying. Which disorder might she have? Okay, so if we're looking at this as a mood disorder, she is sometimes experiencing what sounds like mania, and sometimes experiencing what sounds like depression. So we would know then that this could be bipolar disorder.